If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, I'm back, just like a bad smell, and it's Sunday, March 10th, and it's 8:56 p.m. Eastern Time, and what we're going to be doing tonight is going over the post from yesterday, Q. I didn't have an opportunity to post yesterday, and I apologize. It was kind of something unforeseen, and I wanted to let you know as well, I will not be posting tomorrow. I have had this planned for a very long time. My mother and I are going away just for a couple days, but I'll be back Tuesday night, so I will be posting Tuesday, I do believe, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. So that's, I didn't want you to be looking for a post tomorrow and wonder where I am. So I'm not going to be posting tomorrow. I will be posting Tuesday on the 12th. And tonight we're going to be going over the post from yesterday, March 9th, and there's one post from today, March 10th. So let's get started. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you guys so much. You know what? You guys have blown me away since I've been demonetized. It's just been amazing the amount of support that I've received with Patreon and people buying me coffee, and it has definitely made up for it, and it makes me realize how much you guys appreciate this, and that makes me want to post all the more. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for all your prayers and support, and just you've blown me away, literally. So anyway, let's get started. Here is the first one from yesterday, March 9th, and Q says number one, and he puts a link to a tweet by Paul Sperry, which we're going to look at shortly. Well, actually, let's go ahead and look at that right now. I've clipped it out to save us a little bit of time, and here it is. It says, breaking, McCabe investigated not just Trump, but Sessions too. Ordering the Sessions probe was another unprecedented partisan action that has been forgotten, said former federal prosecutor Solomon L. Weisenberg, partner at Nelson Mullins in Washington. So this is something that's coming out now in the news, that it wasn't just Trump that was targeted, it was Sessions as well. And the reason why he was targeted is because he was a huge target to the deep state. He was a huge threat to them, and so they decided to target him as well to see if they could get any dirt on him to get him out. That is what happened there. Let's go back up and see what Q has to say here. And it's so we've got the link to that Twitter that, lets us know that there's news coming out now that wasn't just Trump. And Q says Sessions Senate vote, and then he tells us the answer, 52 to 47. So pretty close, fairly close. Rod Rosenstein Senate vote, 94 to 6, a shoo-in. So that kind of tells you that Rod Rosenstein is dirty, to tell you the truth, because, Sessions, probably most of the Republicans voted for him, but not many of the Democrats. So, but here he was a shoo-in by everyone. So, Rod Rosenstein. Do you target your enemies or your allies? Well, obviously, you don't target your allies, do you? I mean, that would be ridiculous. So, of course, it's your enemies that you target. Why was Sessions targeted? Who appointed Huber? Well, Huber was appointed by Jeff Sessions, and then Q asks us, who had direct oversight over Huber? Well, it was Sessions and also the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein. So those are the two that had direct oversight over Sessions. The Deputy Attorney General also listed for optics, and I said perhaps because you've got Sessions that it was a really tight vote to get him in, but then you've got Rod Rosenstein, who is, was a shoo-in and who is obviously a dirty cop. not really a cop, but you know what I'm saying. So we have got, and probably he was placed in oversight over Huber as well for optics. I could see that being true. And obviously, not very often Q is asking us a question. It's usually a statement. Oops, hang on. There we go. It came unplugged there for a second and my screen went a little dark. You probably noticed that. And let me just gather up my wires here so the kitten doesn't get any wise ideas. All right, so yeah, he's probably not asking a question. He's probably making a statement here that yes, Rod Rosenstein was, or Rosenstein, however you want to pronounce it, was listed for optics. Who really had direct oversight over Huber? Sessions. Sessions would have been the one who really had the oversight over Sessions, because of course he was over Rod Rosenstein as well. So then Q says no leaks, none. Who fired / removed the traitors within the FBI / DOJ? Well, Jeff Sessions. He was the one that was responsible. He fired McCabe, and there were other deep state actors that he also had a hand in, if not directly related. Obviously, this comes down from the top, because Trump is over them all, but it would have been Sessions that was tasked with that job. Do you believe the timing is a coincidence? No. Do you? I don't think there's any coincidences in this game, and it is a game, and more we're seeing it as just moves and counter moves. It's like a giant chess game, and Q has alluded to that in the past, and that is really what it's like. It is like a big giant game, and to tell you the truth, until Q came along, I really didn't realize how politics really were. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I really didn't realize these types of things really went on, and it's opened my eyes, and it's been alarming because since that, I've opened my eyes to other governments around the world as well and saw, wow, it's not just America that's in big trouble. So here we go. Q leaves us. He puts number 2, and he gives us another link to a tweet and by John Huber, and we're going to go look at that. Now, again, I've clipped it out to save us a little bit of time. And here we've got U.S. Attorney Huber, and it says, U.S. attorneys thoroughly enjoyed our time with Attorney General Barr this week. He is a solid, proven leader with a clear vision for the DOJ. We will move forward with his priorities, hold offenders accountable, and advance the rule of law. That, of course, by Attorney Huber, U.S. Attorney Huber. And let's go back up and see what else Q has to say here. This is kind of a long post here. All right. So we've got the link to that, which we just read, and it says, clear vision for the DOJ. Now, he's not asking a question. He's just putting in point form what this tweet said. Clear vision for the DOJ. Hold offenders accountable. Advance the rule of law. Do you believe the timing is a coincidence? Of course not. Of course not. He's coming in at the right time. He's in the right place. He's been looking at this for a good long time. They've been investigating this, and it's all coming out. And we'll see in the rest of this post, the rest of this Q drop, that the time is imminent. Imminent. I kind of wish, if I didn't have this planned to go away tomorrow, it's a bad time to go. It's a really bad time to go because all of this stuff could be coming down at any minute, and I really do want to be here to report on it. But again, I don't want to disappoint my mother, and it's nice that we're able to get away and just have some mother-daughter time. So anyway, I'm hoping that it's not so imminent that it drops tomorrow, but that's maybe a little bit selfish of me. All right, so let's go to number 3 now. And we've got a link to another Twitter and another tweet, and we're going to go out and take a look at that. Again, I've clipped it out. Saves us a little bit of time anyway. And here it is, and it's by Trump 2020 Republicans. Sean Hannity. People will be held accountable as new evidence surfaces on multiple fronts. Hashtag QAnon. And that is exactly, that's a direct quote from Hannity. People will be held accountable. And isn't that what we want? We have wanted this ever since we've been made aware of it. We have wanted those people that are responsible to be held accountable. We want the rule of law to go forth. We want justice and the rule of law. That's what we want. And we don't want one set of rules for them and another set of rules for us. We want them held accountable according to the law of the land. So let's go back up and see. All right. Now, so after that tweet, Trump says, Q. We know that Trump is in cahoots with Q, but we know that Q plus is Trump when he is aboard Air Force One, but sometimes I get Q and Trump because I feel like they're one entity. You know, they're not, but they're so cohesive and they're so, you know, it's like you know, when you get married, it's bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. You become one. Well, I feel like, you know, they're so close in their dealings and how they feel, and they're one unit. So anyway, I've made that error several times. I've called Q Trump. So Q asks, do you believe the timing is a coincidence? Of course not. And then number 4, and we've got a link to a document, which we're going to look at. And Q asks again, do you believe the timing is a coincidence? Then he says, minus 21 in kill brackets. Q. Now, I would assume that minus 21 means the countdown is 21 days. That's what I would assume, but you know what assuming does. So anyway, let's take a look at this document. No, let's. Now, this is from Matthew Whitaker, and it was sent Wednesday, November 22nd, 2017. And it's to John Huber, and it's a letter from Attorney General. And let me see now. Let's go to the next. Here is the letter. I'm not sure if we need to read all of this. It says, Dear Mr. Huber, in consultation with the Deputy Attorney General, I have requested, and this is by Jeff Sessions, by the way, so interesting. In consultation with the Deputy Attorney General, and of course that would be Rod Rosenstein, I have requested that you review the matters referenced in the enclosed November 13th, 2017 letter from Assistant Attorney General Stephen Boyd to the House Judiciary Committee Chairman Robert Goodlatte and make recommendations to me or the Deputy Attorney General as appropriate. Your review need not include matters that you determine are within the scope of the investigation being conducted by the special counsel, Robert Mueller. Your recommendations should include whether any matters not currently under investigation warrants the opening of an investigation, whether any matters currently under investigation require further resources or further investigation, and whether any matters would merit the appointment of a special counsel. Now, let's go on, and this is what was enclosed to him. And it is to the Honorable Robert Goodlatte, and it is from, let me see here, Stephen Boyd, the Assistant Attorney General. So let's take a look at this. Dear Chairman Goodlatte, this responds to your letter dated July 27th, 2017, and September 26, 2017, in which you and other members request the appointment of a special counsel to investigate various matters, including the sale of Uranium-1, alleged unlawful dealings related to the Clinton Foundation, and other matters. We are sending identical responses to the other members who joined your letter. As noted during our prior meeting in response to your letters, the Department of Justice takes seriously its responsibility to provide timely and accurate information to Congress on issues of public interest and seeks to do so in a non-political manner that is consistent with the Department's litigation, law enforcement, and national security responsibilities. Additionally, the Department's leadership has a duty to carefully evaluate the status of ongoing matters to ensure that justice is served and that the Department's communications with Congress are accurate and complete. To further that goal, the Attorney General has directed senior federal prosecutors to evaluate certain issues raised in your letters. These senior prosecutors will report directly to the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General as appropriate and will make recommendations as to whether any matters not currently under investigation should be opened, whether any matters currently under investigation require further resources, or whether any matters merit the appointment of a special counsel. This will better enable the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General to more effectively evaluate and manage the caseload. In conducting this review, all allegations will be reviewed in the light of the principles of federal prosecution. As you know, consistent with the long-standing policy, the Department does not ordinarily confirm or deny investigations, and this letter should not be construed to do so. While this policy can be frustrating, especially on matters of great public concern, it is necessary to ensure that the Department acts with fairness and thoughtfulness, and always in a manner consistent with the law and rules of the Department. Page 2. In addition, you must know that the Department will never evaluate any matter except on the facts and the law. Professionalism, integrity, and public confidence in the Department's work is critical for us, and no priority is higher. Your letter referenced various allegations related to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, handling of the investigation into former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's use of personal email server. On January 12, 2017, the Department's Inspector General, IG, and that would be Horowitz, sent a letter to you and other members advising that the IG's office was initiating a review of, among other things, allegations that Department or FBI policies or procedures were not followed in connection with or in actions leading up to, related to, the FBI Director's public announcement on July 5th, 2016, and the Director's letter to Congress on October 28th and November 6th, 2016, and that certain underlying investigative decisions were based on improper considerations. Allegations that the FBI Deputy Director should have been recused from participating in certain investigative matters. Allegations that Department and FBI employees improperly disclosed non-public information, and allegations that decisions regarding the timing of the FBI's release of certain Freedom of Information Act documents on October 30th and November 1st, 2016, and the use of Twitter account to publicize the same were influenced by improper considerations. These investigations include issues raised in your letters. In addition, the Department has forwarded a copy of your letters to the Inspector General so he can determine whether he should expand the scope of his investigation based on the information contained in those letters. Once the IG's review is complete, the Department will assess what, if any, additional steps are necessary to address any issues identified by that review. We will conduct this evaluation according to the highest standards of justice. We hope this information is helpful. Please do not hesitate to contact this office if we may provide additional assistance regarding this or any other matter. Now, obviously, Q has provided the whole letter, and so I feel that it was necessary to read it and to understand exactly what it said. So let's get back to Q, and let me see here. I do think I had some notes underneath, I do believe, but maybe not. Yes, I do. Sessions was overseeing Huber and Whitaker, and he fired McCabe and others. Whitaker assisted Huber in investigations, in the caseload and the investigations that he had. McCabe tried to take out Jeff Sessions by initiating an FBI investigation of him. Sessions and Whitaker were trustworthy and tight-lipped, therefore no leaks. Mueller investigation was used by Sessions and Whitaker to secretly surveil Hussein cabal members in the FBI and DOJ who thought they were safe. And this is massive. Yeah. So, and Hannity here says, we now have damning evidence on the deep state. House Republicans release interview with Justice Department official linked to Trump dossier. So this is all coming out now, and yeah, it's really interesting. Like, it seems like everything is dropping at once, and I think that that's going to continue for the rest of this month. I think that we are going to get things dropped that are going to be just jaw-dropping. I really do. It may even surprise some of us Anons, but maybe not, because, you know, Q has been pretty forthright with us all this time. Now, I will mention this. You know, a lot of times, you know, and even Trump lately has been, you know, dissing on Sessions, and I think Jeff Sessions is a patriot, and I do believe that he is trustworthy, and I believe that he was doing his job, and that Trump did what he did and said what he said for optics. That's what I believe. Q tells us all the time, disinformation is necessary, and that means even to the Anons, because we know that we're not the only ones looking at that board. The deep state's looking at that board. The whole globe is looking at that board. So yeah, disinformation is necessary to throw them off the trail, and I think that it's going to come out in the not too distant future that Jeff Sessions is, you know, should be congratulated and is a hero. Now, yes, he was asked to step down, but I don't think that it was over anything. I think that it's all optics, and he was there for a reason, for a season, and then he moves on. And we see that with a lot of people. It's not necessarily that they're bad people and that Trump wants to get rid of them or that they're not doing their job. He just switches people around because he's placing people where they can be best used. So let's continue on with the posts. There's a lot of them. Hopefully I'll be able to get finished this one drop in one video, but it may take two. So let's get moving here. Time's a ticking. All right, and here is the next post, and it is Q giving us a tweet from Donald Trump that says, terrible. Just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. And I would agree. And then it says, underneath, Q says, the President of the United States told you who authorized the targeting. Q. And, you know, the thing is, we've known that, right? We Anons know that. This is only news to those that are not awake or those that have not been paying attention, because we've known this for quite a long time. Those of us that have been following this. Q told us this a long time ago, and lo and behold, now it's coming out. So it's interesting that Trump has known the whole time that Obama had authorized the surveillance on him. Remember several months ago when Trump stated this, the fake news, yeah, he told us, oh gosh, back in the fall, I guess, he told us this, and the mainstream fake news media just had a field day mocking him, you know. Well, and now it turns out to be true. as it is with everything that Trump drops like that. He'll say something, everybody will make fun of him, and then it'll come to find out it's true. And then the mainstream media, they'll never apologize. They'll never apologize and say, oh, we were wrong. No, you'll never hear them say that. So let's move on. Here is the next drop. And it says, Nellie Orr, CIA? Yes. There are others within the FBI/DOJ linked to the CIA. Oh boy, is there ever. Now, he leaves us with a link, and we're going to go out and take a look at that. I think we are, anyway. If my computer will cooperate. Here we go. Okay, when ex-spies go rogue by becoming lawmakers, and this by the Washington Post. Glen Allen, Virginia, once Representative Abigail Spanberger embraced the secret life of a CIA operative. She never imagined breaking cover. She handled and recruited spies in Europe, where she specialized in counterterrorism and nuclear proliferation issues. She aspired to an appointment somewhere as chief of station, the Langley equivalent of ambassador. Instead, she wound up leaving the agency in 2014 in search of a less nomadic life after having 3 children. Then came the Trump presidency and an overheated climate in which partisanship often triumphed over facts. So Spanberger, a proudly apolitical collector of evidence, decided to do something profoundly radical for an ex-spy. She ran for the House of Representatives and won, upsetting Representative Dave Bratt in Virginia's 7th District. On Thursday, as the 116th Congress convened, she joined a small vanguard of ex-intelligence officers becoming Instagram-friendly lawmakers. Leaving the CIA was the biggest loss of my life. I mourned the agency. I miss it every day, said Spanberger, 39, one of 3 former CIA officers serving in the new Congress. The idea of a CIA officer running for national political office would have struck previous generations of agency spies as sacrilegious, said former CIA Director Leon Panetta, who headed the agency after more than 15 years as a California congressman. For one thing, agency officers, more than others in the intelligence community, usually maintain low profiles even after they leave Langley. And even if CIA people do take on a modicum of celebrity, television punditry, or Hollywood are popular career paths, they typically have avoided Congress, whose oversight of the agency has generated lingering ill will. The old Yale guys would say, what the hell is going on? You got to be secret and anonymous and let the other guys who don't know what they're doing play the political game, Panetta said. But young people at the CIA now are not particularly tied to the long legacies of intelligence business and recognize that it's important to get involved in politics, because if they do not, others will distort the work of the intelligence agencies. Spanberger, who worked for the CIA for 8 years, is serving alongside 2 former agency officers, Representative Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan, Democrat, Michigan, 42, an analyst who deployed to Iraq 3 times and won a seat representing Michigan's 8th district by beating a Republican incumbent, and Representative Will Hurd, Republican Texas 41, who worked undercover in the Middle East and South Asia and has served Texas 23 district since 2005. For so many of us with national security backgrounds, bringing our history of public service without a partisan lens is important, and it's a skill set, Spanberger said. We served the mission under Republican and Democrat presidents. While Spanberger and Slotkin have earned attention for being spies turned lawmakers, their paths are not without precedent. Peter Gross began his CIA career as clandestine officer in the 1960s, then served in Congress from 1989 to 2004, representing the 14th District in Florida before returning to Langley as its director. Bob Barr, a former Latin American analyst, represented Georgia in Congress from 1995 to 2003. Barr ran in 2008 for president as a libertarian. Former CIA operative officer Evan McMullen vied for the White House in 2016 as an independent. All right. So I'm not going to go on and read all of this. I think we've got the gist that there are more and more people moving from the CIA and transitioning into Congress. So this seems to be an ongoing trend, or so it would seem, because this was never the way, in back a number of years ago. Now let's go back to what Q has to say. What access does a House member have? What access does a House committee member have? Now, I didn't know the answer to that. And so I went looking for the answer to that, and I found this. Now, it's in red because I don't want you to get confused with what Q is providing us and what I'm providing us. So this is my link here. If it will let me, come on. I don't know. Sometimes you just have to speak nicely to it and buy it lunch. What do you do? Because computers like to have a bite too. All right, that's a bad joke. Do members of Congress have security clearances? I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it does answer. The topic of security clearance for elected officials has long been a complex one. Members of Congress, even those in sensitive committee positions, do not receive or obtain security clearances in the same way that a member of the public would go about obtaining a security clearance based on job or military requirement. Though the process of election and selection to a seat in the House of Representatives or Senate comes with it a, okay, that's not a well-written sentence, certain public seal of access to information of a sensitive nature. Few voters likely think about this when they vote, but its key reason, trustworthiness, often plays a major role in politicking. Both the House and Senate do not have security offices and staff with the responsibility of overseeing access to classified information, among other things. So, according to the CIA Center for the Study of Intelligence, there are no written rules agreed to by both branches governing what intelligence will be shared with the Hill or how it will be handled. The current system is entirely the product of experience shaped by the needs and concerns of both branches over the last 20 years. House members, beginning with the 104th Congress, do have to take a secrecy oath. Members of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the committee with oversight over intelligence agencies, including the CIA and NSA, have a separate oath commensurate with their unique access to sensitive information. Again, these oaths take the way of a public pledge, vice the arduous security clearance process, complete with SF 86 undertaken by the average security cleared professional. House and Senate staff members with a need to access classified information are required to obtain security clearances. The Office of Senate Security and Office of House Security, respectively, have oversight of the security clearance process for congressional staffers, and background investigations are conducted by the FBI. So if you are House or Senate staff member, you don't just automatically have access to classified information. You do have to go through a process to get that ability to, have access to this information. So you have a background investigation conducted by the FBI, and so there you go. It's not just automatically given to you. With increased congressional oversight of sensitive national security issues and more scrutiny on both the issues and need for access, the congressional security clearance procedures have come under scrutiny in recent years. In August 2011, CRS report proposed mandating security clearances for all members of Congress, despite several proposals and wrangling on both the legislative and executive sides due to accusations of leaked information coming from both branches. Requirements for members of Congress or elected officials to obtain security clearances have never been passed. Oh. Well, that's interesting because this seems to be contradicting to me. Opponents of requiring security clearances argue the process would compromise the independence of legislators. More likely, it would add increased scrutiny on members that may prove politically, if not personally, harmful. Given the number of sex scandals and other congressional debauchery, one could argue a fair number of members of Congress may have blackmail problems and a lot to lose in the event of an unfavorable clearance decision. Other members have included requiring signed oaths of secrecy. See, this really doesn't answer the question, if you ask me. So, I don't know. Okay, now this person is saying the Senate and House representatives have automatic clearances, makes them desensitized to the criticality of keeping secrets secret, no matter the level of classification. Classified information of national security importance are routinely traded among those that are in these positions as a sort of one-upmanship, i.e., I know and you don't. This is clearly indicated in the Bin Laden mission, where the identities of the Navy SEALs in the mission was publicly announced. Compartments are created on the basis of trust, with the proviso they not be violated. Alas, too many abuse the privilege of knowledge. Let the entire clearance process be conducted on each and every congressional member, and those that are found undeserving dismissed, those that have been nominated, elected, or potential candidates notwithstanding. So I would agree with that, but it seems that despite what this says, that they do get automatic clearance, which is what I assumed. I always assumed that they did, that if you were elected to Congress and you go through that and you are elected and you win your seat or whatever, that you have automatic access to classified information. Now, maybe not all classified information, because there are levels, and obviously you wouldn't have access to things which you need no access to. But yeah, let's go back. Sorry, that's kind of not really answering Q's question, but again, it seems to be contradictory. I found contradictory information, and so I believe that they have automatic clearance. Now, it said, think Brennan, spy campaign, the U.S. Senate. Now, remember, we discussed this in the last video about Brennan spying on the U.S. Senate, which is quite alarming, if you ask me. What happens when the CIA targets, spy insertion, the executive house? So, you know, Q is saying, well, what happens when the CIA inserts someone into the executive, House, Senate, DOJ, FBI, state, etc. branches of the United States government? And they do. Because, okay, they can say whatever they want. Oh, I just want to stay home, so I'm going to run for Congress or whatever. I'm going to run because, you know, I'm just sick of being a spy. They can say that, but how do we know they're not being specifically inserted there to spy? We don't. How many so-called former CIA agents ran for House election in 2018? Well, again, I don't know the exact number, but I did find this. So let's take a look at that. Their new mission? Foil Trump. Ex-intelligence officials run for Congress as Democrats. And remember, this isn't the first time we've heard this. We've heard this before from Q, that the FBI were running for Congress as Democrats to foil Trump. Wasn't just, oh, you know, I'm sick of being a spy. I think I'll just run for Congress. No, not that simple. They put their lives on the line in foreign war zones, conducted secret missions to collect valuable intelligence, and made enormous sacrifices for their country, only to see their former colleagues disrespected by President Donald Trump. Okay, everybody, it's eye roll time, collectively now. I don't know what it is, but it does make me feel better. Now, driven by the president's conduct, now remember, we're MSNBC, so you're not going to get an unbiased report here. Now, Now, driven by the president's conduct, they're taking matters into their own hands and gearing up for a different challenge, running for Congress as Democrats. Fed up with what they see as Trump's disdain and distrust of the intelligence community. Gee, I wonder why he has disdain and distrust for the intelligence community. I wonder why. These people. They're a few bananas short of a bunch. All right. And his refusal to embrace fully the conclusion that Russia interfered in the 2016 election, and his refusal to embrace the conclusion that Russia interfered in the 2016, no, they didn't. These people are brain dead, brain dead. An unusually large number of former intelligence officers and operatives are campaigning for office as Democrats in this fall's midterm elections, according to the experts. For many, like Abigail Spanberger, now, didn't we just hear that name? Did we not just hear the name, Spanberger? And, well, I've got 3 kids, I'm tired of traveling, so I think I'll run for office. Yeah, a lie. And Alyssa Slotkin, Michigan. It's a matter of restoring respect for the agencies. So they gave 2 totally different. Yeah, it's all about restoring respect. They don't like the way Trump is treating their friends in the intelligence community. I'm going to run for Congress because Donald Trump said something mean. One more time. Okay. All right. These people act like children. Honestly, you see better behavior in a kindergarten class. All agree that their decision to run began with the current commander-in-chief. It's incredibly disappointing, Spanberger, who served as a CIA officer in the U.S. and abroad for 8 years before moving back to Virginia in 2014, told NBC News, to have a president who doesn't see your work as service to the nation, work that is meant to help him. It's hard to see. Oh. Let's call a ambulance. All right. Anyway, so I think we've read enough of this garbage. I'm being nice by calling it garbage. Yeah. All right. So, and let me see. Well, this is another article, but I think we've seen enough. Don't you? I think we have. What party do these former CIA agents, what party are they migrating to? Well, they're probably already Democrats, but it's the Democrat Party. They're not running as Republicans. Heck no. What happens when the CIA targets and with spy plus tech insertion of Google, Facebook, which is LifeLog, Twitter, etc., etc. And notice how LifeLog is in the kill brackets. And we know that. We know that the CIA has inserted spies and tech insertion into Google, Facebook, LifeLog, Twitter, all of them. So then we've got this report, which is funny because I had this clipped out for the Q-related news because I thought it was just so interesting. Very interesting. Here we go. Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's conference room has a secret panic shoot, report says. That's right. Now, I'm not going to read this because we don't need to. All we need to know is that he's put a panic shoot into his conference room. Yeah. I think that they're going to have, I think that their panic shoot is going to be working full tilt when all of this drops, and they're going to be panic shooting right into their Depend underwears. That's what's going to be happening. Yeah, their little panic shoot is going to be going full tilt. They're going to be, crapping their pants. When all this comes out and they see the trouble that they're in, and they probably already know, that's why they're doing this stuff. They know. All right, let's go back to Q. So he says, so there's little Zuckerberg with his panic shoot. All right. What happens when people wake up to the fact that Facebook is a cover for LifeLog, DARPA? What happens? oh, people will be very angry. In fact, I need to get onto Facebook and delete it. It's just that it's the best way to keep up with old friends and things like that. And I hate to delete it, but I hate to have my information up there too. So I don't know. What happens when people discover that all real-time data input plus listening, camera, GPS, Meta is being harvested and made accessible to Langley? And of course, Langley, Virginia is the headquarters for the CIA, and all of this stuff, like everything smart, your smart TV. I mean, they even have smart fridges. Anything with smart, all of that data is being collected and going to Langley. All of it. Your GPS. That's why, when somebody murders somebody, and yes, this is a very good use of technology, but still they'll say, well, we know that he murdered her because we pinged his phone, and it was the tower right near his girlfriend who was later found dead. So, I mean, we know that they collect this data and that it's readily available. So, I mean, they know where you are, what you're doing. They do. And they can listen through your phone too, and view you through your camera. They sure can, if they want to. Charter of the NSA, domestic plus foreign. Yes, the NSA, they are tasked with foreign and domestic, whereas the charter of the CIA, foreign, not domestic, forbid law. It's forbidden by law. They are not to operate domestically. They are not supposed to be involved in domestic spying. That is the law. So now NSA can, but not the CIA. They are foreign. They are foreign intelligence. They are meant to gather intel on foreign entities, not Americans. Why is the CIA conducting an active umbrella collection campaign? Stringer tangents to 9. I don't exactly know what that means. Stringer tangents to 9. And I don't know if this has to do with the 9 different compartments or, aspects of Facebook /LifeLog, because remember there are 9 parts to it and only 3 are publicly, the other 6 are clandestine. So why is the CIA conducting an active umbrella collection campaign against all U.S. citizens through LifeLog, Facebook, Absorb, TAN targeting? TAN targeting. I don't know what they mean by that. TAN targeting. Anyway, we do know what they're talking about. Why are they conducting this umbrella collection campaign under DARPA's LifeLog, which is now Facebook? Why are they doing that? It's against the law. They're not allowed to spy on Americans. So then why are they collecting all this data? What are they doing with it? Bypass data encryption on phone / tablet, etc. No, you can't. You can't. It's like Facebook. You can take it off, but it can still spy on you. Yeah, that's what is so unbelievable. You can take it off your computer, but good luck, it's still working. And the same thing with your phone. In fact, on the Android phones, I don't know on the iPhone phones, I don't think you can take it off there either. But I know you can't on the Androids. You can't get it off of there. So yeah, it doesn't matter. You can't bypass the data encryption. You might be able if you are an expert hacker, which how many people are expert hackers? So I don't know. Primary focus on elected officials. Oh yeah. And you know why? Because they blackmail them. And we know that. They like to catch them in compromising situations and then say, look, you know what? You're going to cooperate or we're going to release this to the public. It's what they do. It's how they work. It's dirty. Primary focus on elected officials in key subcommittees. Oh yeah. Because if you are an elected official in a committee and the other side or someone wants to target you because they don't, they want you to behave in a certain way on that committee so that they can get the outcome that they want, then absolutely, they're going to blackmail you. That's why, people, it's not such a light thing to consider running for Congress, because let me tell you, if you got any skeletons in your closet, they're going to come out. They're going to come out and they're going to dance. And everybody's going to see them and know about them, or you'll be blackmailed to keep them quiet. So, yeah. Can activation occur of recording local on device pre-SCIF entry? Can activation occur of recording local on a device pre-SCIF entry? Yes, but that's why you're not allowed to take any devices into a SCIF facility, because it is, that's a secret facility that you have to have certain clearance to enter. You can't take a phone in. You can't take any device in there. There are logs. You have to log in. You have to log out. You have to read and look at anything that you want to see in there. You cannot take it out. And I do believe that you are on camera and everything else when you're in there, and possibly being observed by a person. I don't know, but it's a big thing. So Q says, no logs, no keys, ghost in, ghost out. Now, I don't know. My understanding, according to Q, in the past was that they couldn't take anything that would record going into a SCIF. So, I don't know. It seems to me here he's saying that it is possible, and that there's no logs, no keys, ghost in, ghost out. People only engage security plus escape vehicles when they have something very serious to fear. What is that fear for Mark Zuckerberg? So yeah, and he has engaged in excessive security, including the little panic chute and escape vehicles and everything else. So you don't employ all these measures if you're not afraid of anything. So what's he afraid of? That's a good question, isn't it? Q. Now, I liked this comment, so I'm going to read this by The Oppressor Liber, and this is from the website Disclosure Italia. Fascinating post from Q. The reveals are insane. CIA lost access to ability to continue spying on Congress, DOJ, FBI. So clowns decided to get their agents elected to Congress and Congress committees to have direct access to intel. Washington Post link. This article posted by Q says it all. Spanberger, CIA, now turned Congresswoman, aspires to be on the Intel Committee. These people are sick. Q's telling us that there are others from the CIA inserted into the FBI and DOJ. The EP state owned the CIA before POTUS and still owns large swaths of the CIA. Oh, the deep state. The deep state owned the CIA before POTUS and still owns large swaths of the CIA. Very true. CIA has inserted spies in all aspects of our lives, as it's the cabal's method of turning our country into surveillance state. CIA was planning on a surveillance state, hence all the insertions of spy technology into Google, Twitter, Facebook, phones, etc. Insanity. CIA has ability to covertly spy on top elected officials, even during SCIF meetings without being traced. Wow. See, I didn't realize that at all. This is scary. All intel being relayed back to the cabal elite masters, billionaires. With that power, they would have taken down the U.S. Zuckerberg, fully aware, and had an escape plan ready should the public find out what all he was doing with private information. He not only fears the public, but he fears the cabal taking him out so that he can't testify against them. Mark Zuckerberg fears public knowledge of his spying and fears a hit job. I would absolutely, positively agree with everything they said there, and it is well put. All right, let's go on. Now, I'm not going to go that much longer, and I'm going to split this video because I'm not going to get through it in one shot. I'd like to, but I'm not. So we'll continue on for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to split it. While I'm uploading this, I will record the second half. Okay, here is the next one. Right here. again from yesterday. We only actually had one drop from today, and it was dropped right after one came like at 11 something, and then it turned midnight and he dropped another one. So it should really belong to the 9th, but it's dated the 10th. All right, here we go. And Q is making reference to a former post of his that he dropped on December 6th of 2017, over a year ago. He said, why are Sarah and John, and that is Sarah Carter and John Solomon, getting all the real scoops? Expand your thinking. Why are they now under protection? Q. And then he links to Sarah's Twitter page and to a tweet of hers that says, and here she's responding to a tweet by Paul Sperry, breaking, McCabe, who's under grand jury investigation for lying about leaking in early 2017, ordered FBI's inspection division to open internal probe into who leaked to Sarah Carter and John Solomon at Circa News that McCabe had been making disparaging remarks about General Flynn in staff meetings. So, McCabe was under investigation for being a leaky liar. So anyway, yeah, he wanted an internal probe. Like, who's given this stuff to Sarah Carter and John Solomon? Because the news was leaked that he was making disparaging remarks about General Flynn. So Sarah Carter responds to this and says, well, I had heard rumors, ... Now, and it says, Sarah and John Solomon have been used by Trump to prepare the public for what is to come. They are targets of the deep state and thus have need of Secret Service protection. So, these are two that Trump has entrusted information to, that has been, giving this stuff to the public and feeding it out to the public in an attempt to prepare them for what is to come. And as such, of course, they're targets of the deep state, and so they're in need of Secret Service protection, and it has been provided for them. And Q says, he gives us this, he sent us to her Twitter page, and then underneath he says, define protection. Q. Well, we know what protection is, and they need protection. They need Secret Service protection because the deep state is probably wanting to off them. So they're incredibly brave, and we can't even say, oh, that's ridiculous, they wouldn't do that. Of course they would. We know that. All right, let's go on to the next one. Here we go. And Q is here, and he's making reference to this Anon, who posted a tweet by Donald Trump that says, this is just the beginning. And beneath, then we have the Q1 as well from 3/9, which was, of course, yesterday. And this person is bringing out the fact that there is a 0 delta because Trump posted this at 5:50 p.m. and this was posted at 5:50 p.m. So another 0 delta between POTUS and Q, which seems to be happening a lot. And if they weren't somehow in cahoots together, then that would be impossible. Because really, if it was just some guy in a basement, no. All right, and Q underneath says statistically impossible? Q. Well, yes, it would be statistically impossible if they weren't in cahoots together. Absolutely, it would be. So there you go. Now, let's go on. I don't want this to go over an hour, and we're getting awfully close. So let's see if I can get to the next one. Yes, I can. And here it is. Underneath, Q is making reference to a tweet by Donald Trump that just says treason. And this is from September 5th, 2018. And Q beneath it says, it's about to happen. Be vigilant. Q. Now, why is he telling us to be vigilant? Because it's about to happen. And because it's about to happen, they're going to try to derail that. And certainly, they're not going to want that in the news. So they're going to try to change the news cycle, as they always do. So we need to be see something, say something. We need to have our eyes wide open and be aware. Now, I know this stuff can happen anytime, anywhere. None of us are safe anywhere, but please be aware, because that is what they do. They're not going to want this to drop and be in the news cycle. They're going to try, when it drops or when it's about to drop, they're going to want to get something else in the news. And they don't care about taking lives. They don't care about property damage. They don't care about any of that. They don't care about America. They care about their own money and their own power. So be vigilant. Cute. All right. I'm going to stop there. And I promise you, I am going to do the second one tonight, and I won't be posting Monday night, just to remind you all. But that is it for this one. So I will see you, hopefully, in a bit. And again, thank you for everything, you guys. I appreciate you guys more than you know. I get all these little messages and stuff underneath, like in the comments, that say things like, "Oh, we appreciate your work, and we appreciate," and I'm thinking, I appreciate you guys, because if nobody was listening, why would I do this? So yeah. Anyway, I appreciate all you. So that's it. I'm going to sign off for now. So stay safe, stay well, and come back and see me, because I'll be here. When you get finished with this, I bet you the second one will be uploaded. So there you go. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.